Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 6 of learning Chinese from absolute zero. So far we've learned 18 characters and more than 18 words. In today's lesson I've also prepared some essential and important Chinese characters that after today's lesson your Chinese will become just a lot better. Now I learned Chinese language in Taiwan. I remember when I was learning the characters, they used to tell me that the characters in Taiwan are a little bit more difficult, but they are prettier. At that time, I didn't know anything about the difference between the writing system in Taiwan and in China. But later I learned that there are two types of Chinese. Even if you look at the Google Translate or any other dictionaries, you can see the traditional Chinese and the simplified Chinese. If you remember, sometimes I showed you the evolution of a character from a very complex shape or a drawing into a more simplified version of the character that we're using today. So that means the Chinese characters have evolved many times. And for more than 1,000 years, the characters didn't change anymore. Until in the 1950s, when the Chinese government saw that the literacy rate was very low, the goal was to increase the literacy rate and to reduce the number of the strokes to make the characters easier and faster to learn. I'm going to show you some examples. Here's the list of the traditional ones, and here's the simplified. As you can see, there are a lot less strokes and generally a lot easier to write and to remember. There were still a lot of characters that looked identical in both traditional and simplified. They were planning on a second stage to simplify even more characters, but it became very unpopular and eventually they gave up the idea. So right now the simplified characters are used in China, Malaysia and Singapore, while the traditional ones are officially used in Taiwan, Macau and Hong Kong. Not all the characters are different. There are so many characters that are identical in both traditional and simplified. Every character we have learned so far is identical. But from today on, we will be learning one or two characters in each lesson, sometimes more, sometimes less, that it might be different from traditional and simplified. I cannot lie, when I look at the simplified and the traditional characters, and as someone who has learned the traditional ones first, I really think the traditional ones are a lot prettier. They contain a lot more meaning and a lot more history. But at the same time, I cannot deny the fact that the simplified ones are a lot easier to learn and a lot easier to remember. So I can understand the need for a simplified version as well. And because of the China's population, you will be seeing a lot more simplified than the traditional ones, unless you're living in Taiwan or in a place where the official script is the traditional ones. And for many years, I ignored the simplified Chinese. I didn't want to learn it. I thought it was difficult. I thought it's not possible to learn both of them. But I was wrong. I think it's necessary to be able to read both of them. You can choose which one you want to learn. But in order to get the most use of Chinese language, I think it's important to be able to at least recognize or read both of them. And from now on, whenever we come across a character that is different in simplified and traditional, we will take a look at both of them, and then you will be able to read and recognize both versions, but you choose which one you want to learn and write, okay? But in the sentences and in the subtitles, we'll be using the simplified version, so the most amount of people can benefit from this course. Alright, now let's take a look at the first character of today's lesson. Very well, it looks a bit scary, but don't worry, you will never forget this character. Let's start. 1. Everything that seems difficult, if you go step by step, it's actually not that difficult and achievable. Only start from this line, okay? And after you completed this line, then we go to the next one. One long line here because this part we also have to write a few strokes. So make sure the line is long enough. And then after you can conquer this one, then one line from here, okay? And then, okay, first just write this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So after you learn this part, write it as many times as you need until you feel very confident. One line, and then like this and this. Okay, that turned out a bit uglier than I expected, but don't worry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So if you write the whole character, 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this character is written in 7 motions or 7 strokes. This character is 我, 我. What is the tone? It's the third tone. 我. This character means I or me in Chinese. I believe you will be writing this character more than any other character in Chinese. So you will never forget this character because of how many times you will be writing it. Almost all your sentences, most of them, will start from this character. So although it might look a little bit difficult at first, it's not that difficult. One more thing you might have noticed is this character is rather difficult. How come they did not simplify it? Well, to be honest, I don't know the answer. Maybe they were planning to simplify this in a second stage, or maybe they just thought this character cannot be any simpler and it just looks pretty the way it is. So not all the characters in the simplified Chinese are really easy and have very little strokes. Some of them still have quite a few strokes, and this is one of them. Now let's try to use the 我 when someone says 你好, 你好, how are you? How can we say I am very good? We say 我很好, okay? 我很好 means I am very good. Now how to say I am not good? 我 and 不好. 我不好 means I am not good. There are not many sentences that we can make with the limited number of characters that we have studied, but learning this next characters will help us to make so many more sentences. Let's take a look at that character first. Very well. This character is also the same in both traditional and simplified. So 1, 2, 3. This is just a box, but a little bit longer. We close the box. One line here. One line like this and this. Don't worry, we're gonna write it a few more times. This one is. Now, we learned that there are 4 tones in Chinese, but there are some characters that do not have a tone. So when the character doesn't have a tone, we do not add any of the lines above the pinyin. When a character doesn't have a tone, we say the word a little bit faster and without any tones. Da, da. If this one was the first tone, would have been da, da. Second tone, da. Third tone, da. Fourth tone, da. But this one does not have a tone, so it's short and fast and without any tone. Da, da. Okay? Now this word is used for possession. For example, when we say 我的, it becomes my. For example, how to say heart. Do you remember how to say heart? 心, 心. Now, how to say my heart? 我的心. 我的心 means my heart. This is extremely useful, and we will be making a lot of sentences with this one. Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close it. Then 1, 2. This is all once. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's take a look at some examples. If we say 我的口means mouth. 我的口 my mouth 很大我的口很大 my mouth is very big. 我的口很小 my mouth is very small. 我的心很大我的心很大 my heart is very big, meaning I have a lot of sympathy. I'm a generous person. I'm generally a good person. 我的心很大 You can also say 你的 your 你的心很大 Your heart is very big. In order to make more sentences, we need to learn a few more characters. First of all, let's take a look at the next character, which is easy but very, very useful. Very well, it was really easy. Let's write it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it doesn't matter if it touches here or not. When you're writing it, most of the time you just write it so fast that it will always touch here. This one is 日 It's the fourth tone. 日 means sun. If you look at the oldest way of writing this character, it does look like a sun, and eventually it became like this. This character also means Japan. Because Japan was on the east side of China, the place where the sun was rising, so when the Chinese people were looking at the sunrise, it was where the Japan located. Let's write this character again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very, very easy, but you write it as many times until you feel very confident with it. I said 日 means sun and also represents Japan because Japan was rising from the east. But 日 also means day or date. So if we say 生日, 生 means being born, 日 means day or date, it becomes birthday. Okay? Birthday. Birth is 生, 日 is day, so it's very similar. 生日, 生日. And if we say 我的生日, it means my birthday. Okay? 我的生日, 我的生日. Now how to say your birthday? Try to say it yourself. 你的生日. Okay? 你的生日. Your birthday. Now we're not able to say anything more because our characters are very limited, but in the future lessons we'll be able to return to this sentence and make it more meaningful. But for now, just know that 我的生日means my birthday and 你的生日 means your birthday. Now, in order to say Japanese language, we need one more character that is used when we say language of a place. Chinese language, Japanese language. That character is really easy and quite useful. So let's learn that one first. Very well, it's really easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Very, very simple. This one is. This is E. 1. It's the second tone. 1. Say it out loud. 1. This character has a few meanings. For example, language, culture, literature. But when we say This one was 日 日文 日文, it means Japanese language. Okay? 日文 means Japanese. If we say 中文, 中文, it means Chinese language. Look how useful this character is. Now, if you say 我的中文, 我的 my 中文 Chinese, it means my Chinese language. 我的中文, 我的中文. To say my Japanese language, 我的日文，我的日文. Now, how to say my Chinese is very good? Think about it. How to say my Chinese language is very good? 我的中文, okay, 很好. This is a complete sentence. 我的中文很好. It means my Chinese is very good. Now, you will be hearing this a lot after finishing this course. 你的中文很好. Your Chinese is very good. I guarantee you that you will be hearing this quite often. 你的中文很好, especially if you memorize the tones and repeat them like I do. 你的中文很好. Your Chinese is very good. Alright, we learn how to say Japanese language, we learn how to say Chinese language, we learn how to say my Chinese, your Chinese, my Japanese, your Japanese. Now let's take a look at another useful character. Very well, let's write it. 1, 2, it's always the box, okay? This box shape, this square shape, we will see it almost everywhere. And it's always 1, 2, 3. If you remember how we learned this character, ko, 1, 2, 3, it's always one of these combinations. First one, second, and then you do the thing inside, you write a character, and then you always close it. It could come like this, it could come like this, but it's always the same style. Okay, so learning this shape was extremely important. Okay, then we close it. And 1, 2. We'll write it a few more times. This is gold. Nan, nan, it's a second tone. Nan, nan means man or male or a boy, mostly a man. But if you remember when we said 女生, 女生 meaning woman or a girl, if we say 男生, then this also becomes a word meaning a man. So this represents the meaning of a male, but in order to say a man, we say 男生, 男生, okay? So now we know how to say man and woman. 男生, man, 女生, woman. And this character is quite easy to learn once you know the meaning of these shapes. Let me write it one more time. This shape means a field, an agricultural field when you plant the crops. And if you look at the oldest way of writing this character, this does really look like a farmland or a field. And over time, it got simpler and became like this shape. And this one means power. You might have seen it in a lot of video games. This shape, when you do something, when you show some action, this character. So a field and power. So this one is easy to remember. You can imagine a man working in a field using power, using a lot of force, becomes the character that means male or a man. Okay? Power and field or farmland becomes man, becomes nan, nan. Alright, we will come back to these characters in the future lessons, but for now, let's take a look at the next character. Very well. This is the first character that is different from traditional and simplified. The one that we just looked at is the simplified version. Let's write it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the wen that we just studied. And then, so what about the traditional one? The traditional one, this part is a little bit different. The traditional one is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this part. Okay? So this is the traditional one and this is the simplified one. Okay? I think this one looks prettier, but this one is easier to write. But both of them are read the same and have the same pinyin and tones. 这 means this, okay? Now we need one more character in order to be able to use this word properly. Let's take a look at that character as well. Now the character is very easy to write. 1, 2, this one was just a ren, and 3, okay? This character is usually fourth tone, ge, but when we say 这个 in here with this word it doesn't have a tone. So 这个 ge is a very general measure word that we can use it for many things. In Chinese, we have to use different measure words for different things, but this one is the most common one, and if you don't know the measure word, you can always use this one. We'll talk about measure words in the future, but for now, just know that 这个 means this thing. If you say 这个男生, it means this boy or this man, okay? 这个男生很好. This man is very good. 这个女生很好. This woman is very good. The sentence is a bit too easy, but in the future, when we learn more characters, we'll be able to make more meaningful and longer sentences. But for now, even with these simple characters, we can make sentences like this. 这个男生很好. Let's say you have a lot of pictures, you want to pick one of them for a job or for whatever thing. Say 这个男生很好, meaning this guy or this one is very good. Or 这个女生很好, this woman or this girl is very good. Now this character is different in the traditional version. If I write the traditional one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we close it. Okay, so this is the traditional version. In the simplified, I think they just took this one, only this shape, and they added one more stroke and one line here. And now if I write both of them, so this is the traditional one, and this is the simplified one. They both sound exactly the same. 这个. If you're learning traditional one, this is for you. If you're learning simplified, this one is for you. But in both cases, I think it's important to be able just to know how it's written in the other script. No matter which one you're learning, they're both Chinese language. Even if you're learning the simplified, it's good to know that this character used to look like this, and it was used for thousands of years like this until it became like this. And you don't lose anything by being able to at least recognize the other shape, okay? But from now on, we will focus on the simplified version when we write the subtitles. But whenever we come across a character that is different, we will write it once in both versions. But after that, we will use the simplified version. Now your homework is to write down all the characters that we studied in this lesson, and also try to write the sentences as well And of course, you have to read them out loud as many times as you need. Alright, thank you for watching. This is the end of the lesson. I will see you in the next lesson.